Welcome YouTubers, this is another video from your friendly neighborhood reviewer Evelyn. Today we're going to be covering another true crimes news. I have read this news in the last 2 days and I was appalled at the justice that was handed out. This article came out on the Daily Mail. Some of the descriptions from the Daily Mail I didn't quite like, so the headline reads, "Killer girlfriend filmed breaking down in tears as she's arrested for stabbing her abusive professional boxer boyfriend to death is jailed for 8 years for manslaughter." Now let's put this into perspective. This is about a domestic violence case. And there's a video clip that shows the reaction of the girlfriend after the deed was done, and you can clearly see that she was in distress and clearly realizing what had just happened. So we have the girlfriend named as Kaylee Mahood, 30, stabbed her partner, Oliver O'Toole, 31, on July the 25th of last year. Mahood, the girlfriend, insisted it followed a row at their home in Burton-on-Trent, Staffordshire. The body cam video showed Mahood protesting her innocence as she was arrested. In the clip, Mahood breaks down in tears as she is handcuffed by a police officer. The kicker about all of this, there was issues of domestic violence going on, and the jury convicted her of manslaughter, and she was jailed for 8 years, not least probation for a year, monitor tags and all that kind of stuff. I'm just very disgusted at the justice that was dished out. So the article reads, Kaylee Mahood, 30, fatally stabbed her partner, Oliver O'Toole, at their home on Burton-on-Trent, Staffordshire of July 25th of last year. Mahood told the trial at Stafford Court Crown that she acted in self-defense by inflicting the just one stab wound of 1.5 inches onto her boyfriend, 31-year-old Mr. O'Toole, puncturing his heart and causing him to bleed to death as paramedics battled to save him. Now let's put this into perspective. One stab wound. We can talk about maybe a crime of passion where it's like 10, 20, 30, but it's just one. And then when she saw the ramifications, she stopped. The defendant was cleared of the initial charge of murder, but jurors yesterday rejected her claims of self-defense and convicted her of manslaughter. She was jailed for 8 years. Why? Body cam footage released by Staffordshire Police showed Mahood protesting her innocence as she was arrested for killing Mr. O'Toole at their home in July of last year. Passing the sentence on Thursday, Judge Kristen Montgomery, QC, told Mahood, "Everything that I heard from your neighbors and your friends and everything that you told me yourself suggests that there was a pattern of behavior in your relationship." Come on, people. It was one of good and bad times. In good times, you would be a harmonious couple, but there were many times equally when you would fall apart. There were frequent vicious rows between you, and the aftermath of those was violence. The judge, who said Mahood had used weapons to expect retaliation during rows before the killing. "I accept, as did the jury, that you did not intend to kill him. I accept, as the jury, that you did not intend to cause grievous bodily harm. But I take the view that in ailing yourself of the kitchen knife, which was recovered with Oliver O'Toole's blood on it, and striking him with it in a manner which you demonstrated to the jury in your trial, was an act that you intended to cause harm, falling just short of serious harm." Let's just put this into perspective. Okay, I can get maybe there was a violent relationship going on, but we have to take in consideration, both of the pattern between the both of them. The judge said that the background to the killing was a build-up of frustrations on Mahood's part and her inability to deal with them by lawful means. Having been assaulted by Mr. O'Toole previously, the events of July 25th have been the final straw to Mahood. She told Mahood, "He caused you a nasty injury and I entirely accept your account of how you sustained it." The judge also accepted Mahood, who was given sanctuary by a neighbor after being assaulted, had decided to leave Mr. O'Toole and had only returned to their home to collect personal effects. But the judge said when you encountered him again in the house, he was not contrite and he was not apologetic as you expected, and you and he could not put your differences behind you. Come on, how did they know for sure? Nobody was in the house, let's put it per se, and she was leaving him. as some studies suggest that leaving your partner is the most dangerous part of it all. Your reaction to Mr. O'Toole's injury, I accept, born out of panic and a degree of distress as the realization of what you've done had begun to dawn. Prosecutors allege Mahood was a woman capable of great violence and rage and always had the last word in the arguments, despite her claim that she'd be punched in the face during a row. What does that matter? The guy here was a professional boxer, and it's very hard to leave your partners. That's why you have domestic violence, the psychological hold that sometimes partners have of each other, thinking that you could be, better the next day. It was also alleged that Mahood had abandoned Mr. O'Toole as he bled to death outside the home, as she told witnesses that he had done it to himself. Opening the Crown's case last week, prosecutor Caroline Goodwin QC said Mr. O'Toole collapsed in his backyard after being slumped on the wall. Ms. Goodman told the court that Mr. O'Toole had previously tried his hand at professional boxing and was pronounced dead at 12:32 p.m. after paramedics called by a neighbor arrived shortly before midday. The court heard that the couple's relationship was a tempestuous relationship with claims of violence on both sides. Angry texts were also read out on court. In one of these, Mahood called Mr. O'Toole an alky woman beater and a loser. An alky woman beater and a loser, while he referred to her as a scat and a football slag. That's why men walk out from the house. Either you gotta get what you didn't wish for, and sometimes things end badly on both ends, and this time it ended badly in both sides. Witness said Mahood walked away from the scene as her partner lay bleeding, and she added she was reluctant to talk to paramedics when the neighbor tried to put her on the phone during the 999 call. The jury learned Mahood had changed her story several times, firstly by saying she threw the knife in his general direction, and later that he walked into the blade. Of course a woman is scared, let's say. She was defending herself, and at the end of the day her fear came to, reality that she's in jail for manslaughter. I think she would have, fared well with self-defense and stuff, things like that. Mahood started gasping for air as the jury foreman convicted her of manslaughter on Wednesday, reported by Staffordshire Live Reports. In her closing speech to the jury, defense QC Rachel Brown said the moderate force used to inflict the fatal injury suggested Mahood had acted out of fear. Ms. Brown said that the 4-centimeter deep wound suffered by Mr. O'Toole is relatively shallow wound, more consistent with a person who lashed out swiftly in fear to get away from them. We say the evidence here points to self-defense and that the prosecution have not proved otherwise. What happened was a tragedy, ladies and gentlemen, but it wasn't a crime of murder or a crime of manslaughter, because in that crucial moment what the evidence shows you that she only did what she honestly thought it was necessary to defend herself. Okay, so that's the end of this report here, but what does this show to women in domestic violence? That when they try to get out of a dangerous pattern, that if they try to defend themselves, they're going to end up in jail for manslaughter. Where's the rehabilitation? Where's the support? Yeah, she should have gone out that relationship long ago, and she needed serious support on how to get out of that relationship. I think she should be on probation. I think she should have deep counseling. In the video that I saw, the clip of her being, crying out in distress, a cold-blooded killer wouldn't be acting in that way. And somebody changing their story several times, they don't believe in the justice to be on their side. I'm very angry of this. There's another report going around of people trying to save another person and they end up getting prosecuted by the police. This goes to show that being a good Samaritan or even trying to defend yourself is not going to work. So for all the women out there that may be watching this video, walk away from your partner, change your name, get family friends, report everything. Police reports, so they have that on record. Don't engage in another hostile manner with your male partner, even your female partner. Step away from that toxic situation and move away. As soon as you try to match word by word, fist by fist, you're going to end up losing. In this case, you need to win by leaving swiftly, getting the support, and filing every single piece of evidence with the police so they can't come back to you and say, oh, but you're also violent as well. evidence, evidence, evidence. Even you nag the police reporting every sort of domestic violence going on. I'm very sad about the justice what's going on. Leave your comments below and say what could have been done different. Anyway, I leave you guys as always. Give a like, share and subscribe and pass on the word.